thank you for filling up this room so nicely.
Seriously. All right.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Let's give them another warm welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you guys want to tell us a little bit about yourselves before we start the questions?
No.
No?
I don't have anything to.
Yeah, you could lead us into whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, we have so many people here. I don't want to bore you with my questions. So let's start. Who has the first question?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Don't be scared. They're here to protect you.
Exactly.
From this one.
Come on, you guys. Don't be shy.
All right, guys, that was fun. See you
Did you play an episode of 21 Jump Street?
Guys,
Did you meet Johnny Depp?
I did an episode of 21 Jump Street. I did work with Johnny Depp. It was when I got to, he was, can everyone hear me? Do I need this mic? I need the mic? All right, so I did an episode of 21 Jump Street in the last season that Johnny Depp was on it. Johnny Depp was not happy to be there anymore and wanted to be a movie star, which seemed like a fucking pipe dream at the time. Very good-looking guy, and you think you're too good for TV, but he proved me wrong. But I was told by the producers when I got there that he might not come out of his trailer, that I might have to do all of my work to tape on the C-stand because he was pulling shenanigans like coming to set with a turban on and refusing to take it off since they couldn't shoot him. And he actually did come out of his trailer. He did. He was very, very nice to me. So, yeah. Who's our favorite cast member in Chucky? It's gotta be Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah. Jennifer's fantastic. She is one of the smartest women I've ever known. She's hilarious. She's beautiful. She's generous. She's kind. She's really, really a generous human. She lives the most fabulous life of anybody on earth. And she still takes time out of her day to comment on my posts on Instagram. It's a lovely, that's an incredible generosity, you know?
Yeah, I say all the time she texts me back faster than friends I grew up with. So that's cool. And then she also delivers insanely fantastic every time. So yeah, she's been just remarkable on the TV show.
I met Jennifer when I was doing a play downtown in Los Angeles in 1989, and she was in a different play than I was in, but we shared a dressing room. And I hadn't done Chucky. I actually got Chucky while I was doing the play I was doing. But her play with John Cryer, I think, and she was in lingerie in the play, and she looked so fucking good in this stockings and bustier that when her play ended, I stole her bustier out of her costume kit, thinking that if I put it on, that I would look something like Jennifer Tilly. Didn't work out. I didn't have the boobs to fill it, so it just fell apart in a drawer. And I wish I threw it away because lingerie turns to powder if you don't wash it, And so I threw it away at some point in time, and I really wish I hadn't. I had to return it to her.
Yes.
Working with animatronics, does that lead to problems or frustrations?
It comes with its own challenges, for sure. It's evolved a little bit over the years. Back in the beginning, there were like 7 puppeteers that would be underneath the set with wires feeding up to the doll. Nowadays, they could just wear green. They could all look like green men, and they paint them out afterwards. So they have a little more control of things. But yeah, the real thing about it is if you're sharing the screen with Chucky at any time, and it takes them many tries to get Chucky to move just exactly right, the time that he does it right is the take that they're keeping. So you have to kind of really, do your best every take, because if they spend 20 minutes trying to get the doll to do something right, and then they finally do, you can't be like, can I do that one? Can I get another one on it? That's never going to work. So yeah, it comes with that, and it comes with a lot of, pretending that things are happening that aren't. Typical with a lot of things where your eye line is met with like an X or something in the room. But with Chucky, you just have to use a little more imagination sometimes.
Even though like you've been involved in the franchise yourselves for so long, like, the Living with Chucky documentary, what was it like getting to see that history like spread out in front of you?
Kira did a great job. She got her hands on all kinds of footage, a lot of stuff that I hadn't seen. I like that she really kind of showed it also from her approach of growing up with, Living with Chucky's the name of it. And, you know, since she was a child, Chucky has been part of her life, and I can relate. So, yeah, I think she did a great job with it, and I think it was like totally full of things that I hadn't seen before.
Yep.
One of my favorite final acts of any horror movie is the ending to Child's Play 2 in the factory. It's just so perfect. I'm just curious, what was the experience working on that like? The whole final act.
It's like half the movie, so we were there for a really long time. It was shot on a stage in Santa Clarita. It's about 45 minutes north of Hollywood, in California. It was a big hangar. It was freezing cold in there, and it was really fun.
I don't remember it being cold, but I do remember it just being so colorful and lively. Like the way it comes off on film is kind of what it felt like to be in there. It did feel like you were in a real factory of good guy dolls. You know, it was a like pretty all-encompassing set, so it wasn't, from my memory at least, there wasn't like a lot of like facades and fake walls, and if you look there, it doesn't look real. The whole room looked like it was presented. So that was cool. It was really fun. Everything we did in there was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex, the first two movies, are there any moments as a child you can remember that like still scare you to this day as an adult? And one more question, what's your favorite Nine Inch Nails album?
No, none of it scared me. I knew how they operated the doll. I thought the puppeteer work was super duper cool from the very beginning. Our perspective was totally different. You know, when the director said cut, he stopped trying to kill me. There was nothing really to be afraid of. I had the whole script memorized for the first film. I knew everything that was happening. So none of it scared me. My favorite Nine Inch Nails record is, that's a really hard one to say. I fell in love with the band with Pretty Hate Machine. I think the Downward Spiral is obviously a masterpiece, but I think that his best work ever was in The Fragile.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
No, go ahead.
so there were a lot of really cool and unique deaths across the Chucky universe in general. Do you guys have anyone that you particularly like in general, or that you thought was really cool to watch happen?
Yeah, we have the same answer on this, so go ahead.
It's Bree. It's Bree falling out the window, landing on Junior. Is just incredible. I wasn't there for that. Were you there? Rick?
No,
I wasn't there.
but I had an opportunity to be, and I didn't go, and I regretted it. Yeah, it was just beautiful. It was shot so beautifully. It was even the way that the story came out. Like, I know everybody who saw that after she comes out of that therapist's office, and you know the way that Lexa described it was, in that moment the character kind of decided that, you know what, she is going to seek treatment. She's not going to give up.
She decides she wants to live.
She wants to live. And then Chucky pokes his head around that thing, and I know everybody who saw it, like, no, wait. There's a lot of times you root for Chucky to kill people. I don't think that was one of them. And I think Teo's performance, especially the scream, which they probably did in ADR, but that moment where her, you know, it sets you up with the crash over there, and then she just smashes through the glass inches away from her son's face. That was really, really great.
The least popular death, I think, in the entire franchise has got to be Nadine. I think
Yeah.
Don got hate mail and death threats for killing Nadine. Anybody else?
It was also a big episode for Andy and nobody talked about it because they were all talking about Nadine.
Yep.
What's it like working on the series, and how does it feel to know that something that you all started from the originals is still going?
I can tell you this is it's an incredibly rare occurrence to play a character at 17 years old and come back and play her at 50. And I did that on 90210 in 2019. I came back playing a character I originated at 17. It's a really rare thing, and so it's fantastic. But the show, for me, was practically, I'm an actor, so it's nice to have a job. That's how I pay my rent. But I've known Dawn and Jennifer and Alex since 1989, so they're family to me. And the kids, Dawn's got really great taste in people, and the kids that he's cast, they're so raised right. They're smart, classy kids, and it's a really fun set to be on.
Yeah, and I mean, we're just tremendous fans of the show too. So seeing that all come together the way it did was an incredible experience to watch it, and to watch it week to week with you guys was a super cool experience. But yeah, I mean, echoing what Christine said, I played the same character 7 times from when I was 6 till I was 42. And that's, I don't take that for granted because I know that that's a very unlikely thing to happen as an actor.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about the remake?
I hadn't thought about it actually for a long time.
We haven't seen it. We're not allowed. We're not going to see that. No. But if you Google my name and the word remake or reboot, I gave an interview to a small little podcast, and the guy asked me what I thought, and I said I think it's a fucking dick move, and I was honest, and I said because I don't know what this is going to do to. And the TV show is already in development, and all of us were unsure what to root for that film to do really well, and then the universe will go with this huge appetite for Chucky, so we should go on with the series, or go, oh shit, they took the baton, we're going to cancel the series because they took the baton, or if it failed, same sort of questions. So I was just afraid it was going to cock block the show, and it didn't, thank goodness. But the internet got wind of my little podcast thing, and every online thing put it like Christine Elise loses her fucking mind over this. every title was like I was unhinged about this thing being made. So if you Google my name, and then you'll see a lot of funny headlines.
And that came out of the 45th time she was asked about it, probably too.
Yeah.
We were diplomatic in the beginning. I love Aubrey Plaza, so
yeah.
I'm happy with the cast. We have no issues with them or anything. The thing about it, besides what Christine said about it putting our TV series potential possibly in jeopardy, you guys are all diehard horror fans. You know that no one from our franchise was involved with that film. The average person doesn't know that. So for it to confuse people and think like, oh, we liked everything that you did until this, and now we don't like it at all, and now we're out. That was the only other thing about it that was worrisome.
So I guess that's good.
And the TV show is so great that it would be difficult to do that anyway. So, yes.
I'm a very opinionated person. I'm here to tell you, Child's Play 3 was a pile of shit.
Child's Play 3 was a pile of shit. That's what you said.
I have no idea how to even put it in theater.
Well, it's clearly because I wasn't in it. That's the obvious
No,
answer.
even if you were in it, it would still would have been a pile of shit.
No, it would have been great, actually. It would have been really good. It would have happened 6 years later.
But it wouldn't have been your fault.
No, I'm just teasing.
Are you thankful you weren't in that pile of shit?
I'm thankful now that I'm back in the franchise. I wouldn't say I'm thankful that I wasn't in it, but I'm okay with it now. I was a 10-year-old and told that my character is getting replaced by a different actor. That's not an easy thing for an adult actor to deal with, let alone a child. But it all worked out, you know. So.
It's another answer to that question, though. We're actors to pay rent, so any job is a good job. And a misconception, sorry, easy for me to say. A misconception a lot of people have is that actors' resumes reflect their taste in entertainment. It reflects the jobs they got, not what they wanted to get. You know, I wish I was in Schindler's List and a bunch of, you know, huge blockbuster films. I'm not. Not because I didn't want to be.
I knew when they brought you back for the series, I figured you hadn't done any like big work in a long time. I knew that you were more than grateful to come back.
Yeah, of course.
I bet you're probably jumping up and down like, yeah, you know.
Yeah, of course, but
anybody would. I mean.
Well, yeah, but being an actor is a grueling thing to do, and it's difficult to get work. So any work you get, you're grateful for. I mean, I fucking did Matlock and Father Dowling Mysteries. You know, that wasn't like, you know, my dream job, but it paid the rent.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Boonville, Missouri. Child's Play 3 was shot there. 2 hours here. What was it like working with Brad Dourif, and did you have any interaction with him on set or off set?
Yeah, so in the first film, he came and rehearsed with us before. There's some footage of it, actually. I think it's in the Living with Chucky thing, and it's around where he like was getting down on his knees and pretending to be the doll with Catherine Hicks and me. There's even this one shot where he like backhands me, which is really funny because I'm a child, and he's like, but so I met him then, but then it was just working with his voice. I never saw him again really during production of part 1 or part 2. Then I started doing conventions with him, and that's how, you know, all the bulk by far of the time I've spent with Brad is at conventions. But Curse of Chucky, as you know, he was in it physically also, and so he was on set for that, and that was my first time back in acting in like 20 years, and playing this character that I feel a great deal of responsibility to, and I felt a lot of anxiety and pressure about it, even though it was just a small scene. And yeah, Brad Dourif sitting there watching you, that adds to the anxiety a little bit.
Yeah, I got to rehearse with him before, so he could see what I was going to do with my dialogue, so he would know how to record his. And I was a huge fan already from Wise Blood and Cuckoo's Nest and stuff, so I was completely starstruck and freaked out. And I still am. I still feel like I have to tell him who I am. Hi, I'm Christine. I was in Child's Play 2. Like, he knows who I am. I'm just still such a big fan. I can't believe he knows who I am. And you guys might not know, but Alex and I did a podcast called Chucky Talks. You can find it at chuckytalks.com, and we got to interview Brad, and he gave us a 2-parter. He gave us a lot of time.
Yeah, he was great. That was unexpected, and it was a real thrill to interview him, and Jennifer, and everybody else.
I was going to say, you guys have spoken on how close you are and your like family. I know the lasting success of the franchise